Hi Helen, welcome. I'm really pleased to have you as we explore something that's central to our working in other course, group-based learning. Now, when we hear the word group work, what do we immediately picture? And probably a mix of engaged students, distracted students, one student doing all the work. So when you look at this picture, so they're all sitting around the classroom, maybe a few blank stares, right? Group-based learning can be one of the most powerful modes of delivery, but only when it's designed with intention, structure, and flexibility. So let's use this visual to warm up. Based on your experience, which student in this image reminds you of a real learner you've taught? What's going on through their mind during a group task? And can you can you think about a few keywords and explain them?
Okay, let me have a think. Looking at this picture is a classic example of what we often see in a classroom during group work. You've got a few students really focused and working together. Looks like they are discussing something or helping each other out. Then there are a couple who are completely tuned out, just scrolling on their phones. One or two look like they are not sure what they are supposed to be doing. The teacher's trying to engage the group, probably reminding them of the task or encouraging participation. It's a good snapshot of why planning roles and structure is so important when managing group-based activities.
Okay, thanks for sharing, Helen. This tells us a lot about why planning is crucial for group-based learning. Not just what, not just what the but the how of delivery.
Yeah.
About let's connect to our past experience, and let's build on your real-world insights. Take a moment to reflect. What is the group activity you have led or observed that worked really well? And what about one that fell apart? I would like you to share your thoughts.
Okay. One activity that went really smoothly was a truffle expo task that I did with a pre-intermediate class. Each group had to choose a country and prepare a short presentation to convince a class to visit. I gave them a clear checklist, what to include, how to split the work, and even some example phrases. They had roles like speaker, researcher, and visual designer, which helped keeping things organized. It worked great because it was something that could all relate to. Most of them had travel experiences or dreams, so they got really into it, but it gave them a real reason to speak and share ideas, and they enjoy hearing about places from each other's culture. You could tell everyone had a job and felt comfortable in contributing. It just clicked. Honestly, I think giving them that a bit of structure and a topic they cared about made all the difference.
I see. Any more? Something about that fell apart. What do you think?
Something about
Yeah, that fell apart.
about one that fell apart. There was
Yeah.
one time I gave a group of upper intermediate students a discussion task where they had to come to a group decision on an important issue. That was basically all I said. I didn't give them a specific topic, didn't explain how they should go about it, and didn't assign roles or anything. It was a bit of a mess, but some students just sat there waiting for someone else to speak. One or two tried to take over, and a couple didn't really say anything at all. There was no clear goal, so they didn't really know what they were aiming for. I ended up having to step in and reframe the task halfway through. Looking back, I totally should have set it up better, like picking a topic with some relevance to their lives and give them some direction. It was a good reminder that just talk isn't really enough.
Yeah, I think that's such a good solid example. You nailed three things that really make a group task work, even if we don't always label them that way. First, the structure you gave them, that's what kept the group focused and balanced. Then the travel theme, super relatable, especially for international students, make it feel inclusive and culturally safe. And finally, there was a purpose behind it. They weren't just chatting, they were trying to persuade, present, and to be there and be creative. When all lines up, the engagement just flows naturally. Awesome job putting it all together. What we often find is that the activities that succeed are clearly structured, culturally appropriate, and purpose-driven. Whereas the ones that flop, usually vague instructions, unclear outcomes, or mismatched group dynamics. Today's session is designed to help you understand what group-based learning is in the EDUCAUSE context, identify benefits, challenges, and strategies, explore interactive tools like Padlet and online whiteboards, apply key concepts to lesson planning and delivery, reflect on how group learning links to unit competency requirements. And here's how we structure today. First, we unpack what group-based learning actually means and how it differs from just putting students in groups. Then we'll examine some case scenarios and we'll try an interactive tool. Finally, we'll plan a mini activity and share reflections. So this goal is not to walk away with theory, but with something you can apply this week. Oh, when I talk about interactive tools, you may have to prepare your phone. Do you have your phone with you?
Okay.
Yeah, can you take it out?
Get my phone.
Yeah. So let's start with what is group-based learning. So what is group-based learning? According to the past experience and the best practice, it's a planned learning experience where students work together towards a shared learning outcome. It's not just do this task together. It is about interdependence. Sometimes group members rely on one another to achieve a common goal, meaning that the task cannot be completed individually. Success depends on each learner's contribution, promoting collaborative problem solving, trust, and mutual responsibility for learning outcomes. So, as for shared accountability, each participant is equally responsible for the group's performance. Assessment and reflection include both individual and group input. That will encourage learners to take ownership of their roles and support one another in reaching their objectives. As for role distribution, learners are assigned or negotiate specific roles. For example, note taker, timekeeper, or presenter, to promote balanced participation. This structure ensures engagement, reduces dominance or passivity, and mirrors real-world collaborative settings like workplaces or academic teams. When talking about negotiations of meaning, learners discuss, clarify, and construct understanding together, especially important in ESL settings. Through interaction, they challenge assumptions, rephrase ideas, and refine language, which deepens comprehension and enhances their communication and critical thinking skills. Students offer constructive feedback to each other on content, language use, or teamwork. This process strengthens metacognitive awareness, builds confidence, and encourages learners to reflect on both their individual progress and the group's collective efforts. What do you think? How valuable is group work? In an EDUCAUSE setting, group work is especially is especially valuable. It develops communicative confidence. Group work provides a low-pressure environment where learners practice speaking, listening, and negotiating meaning. Frequent peer interaction reduces anxiety, fosters fluency, and helps students take more risk in using English authentically and spontaneously. Exposure to varied English. Learners engage with diverse accents, vocabulary, and language structures from peers with different linguistic backgrounds. So this exposure mirrors real-world communication, increases comprehension skills, and help them to adapt to different speaking and listening styles. As for cultural exchange, working in mixed background groups promotes cross-cultural understanding and tolerance. Students learn about customs, values, and perspectives while collaborating, which broadens their worldview and enhances their intercultural communication. This is a key skill in global context. Task-based learning skills refers to the group activities are often designed around purposeful tasks that mimic real-life situations. Students learn to collaborate, problem solve, and complete authentic language tasks that will improve their functional English and preparing them for academic or workplace environments. It's also a platform for real-world communication, preparing learners for university seminars, team-based assessments, or workplace interactions. So let's try something together. Imagine that I am with a group of students like you. So everyone have to take their digital device. So I'm going to share my whiteboard to your device. Okay. Here's the link of the whiteboard. I'm going to send to the chat room. Okay. So can you see the whiteboard appear here? That appears here. Can you see the whiteboard?
Okay.
Yes. So in here you can do the typing. Yes, type a few words. Yes, I can see. Yeah, they synchronize. All right. So look at the question here. What are the biggest challenges you face when planning or delivering group-based delivery? Now, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to think about it and type them up on the board. Then I will, so that I can share it in front of a whole class. This is quite an interesting and
So I
important
can
task.
just type and then the thing will.
Yeah, they will pop up. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, 5 minutes. good. So is it done?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. Now I can see your points, and here's what we often hear. Um, a lot of students, a lot of teachers always worry about this uneven participation in class and dominant students versus silent students, lack of language confidence, and time blowouts. These are valid and solvable with when we when we have intentional designs that will solve it. And let me share two quick ethical scenarios here. So this is case one. If I share on the whiteboard, can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. Okay. Case one, intermediate speaking class. They're working on a jigsaw discussion task. Students are given different texts and must share key ideas. The task failed because one student read the whole passage without engaging others. So, in this case, can you tell me what went wrong?
From what I saw, the main issue was that there were no roles given to the students. One person ended up reading the whole passage while the others just sat there. No real interaction or discussion was happening. If we discuss assigned roles like summarize, questionnaire, or note taker, it could have encouraged more meaningful communication and equal participation. Group tasks need structure to actually promote collaboration and learning.
Exactly. So there's another case here. This is a pre-advanced class. They're working on a tourism pitch project. The small groups created 3-minute pitch for a travel destination. So there are clear roles: speaker, designer, timer, and the rubrics were shared clearly. So can you tell me what is the advantage? What worked very well?
I think what really worked here was the clarity from the start. Each student had a clear role. One was the speaker, and another handled visuals, and someone else kept time. That structure kept everyone engaged and accountable. The task was also relevant and interesting, which made the students more motivated. Plus, having the rubric early meant they knew that what was expected. It wasn't just fun, it was purposeful, and that made a big difference.
So that's great. That's a great point, Helen. I totally agree. Having those roles and a clear rubric really helps everything click into place. It's amazing. It's amazing to see how much smoother things run when students know exactly what they're doing and why. You can really see the difference in their energy and focus. So thanks for sharing that. It's a solid reminder of the power of planning. So now it's also your turn to apply and exchange. And I'm going to give you a lesson scenario. I want you to identify the objective, draft a simple group task, and define the roles. You have to choose a digital tool in this case. The scenario is there's an upper to intermediate students preparing for the speaking test. The focus is expressing opinions and supporting ideas. Now you can plan a 20 minutes task. You can also do the planning on the whiteboard and outline it. Okay, I give you another 5 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like you're almost finished, right?
Yep.
Now, can you explain to me, your plan?
All right. Here's how I approach this mini group task. So the objective here is to help upper intermediate students improve their ability to express opinions and support them with relevant reasons, essentially preparing them for the speaking component of the test. For the task itself, I'll keep it focused but engage would you rather discussion. Each group of 3 or 4 students get a set of discussions cards with opinion-based prompts like, would you rather study abroad or in your home country? Or is it better to work for money or for passion? And each student picks a card, state the options clearly and give at least 2 reasons to support it. Then the other group members ask at least 1 follow-up question each. After a few rounds, they decide on the most convincing speaker in the group. So for the roles itself, it will be speaker 1, 2, 3, and then they will take turn. And then there's a timekeeper to keep responses to 1.5 minutes for per student, for example. And then there will be discussion leader after that, and make sure there will be follow-up questions that are being asked. And lastly, there will be a note taker to record all the key arguments for quick feedback. And as for the digital tool, I'll use Padlet. Each group gets their own column to type in their arguments and post discussion highlight. It's visual, it's real time, and it's easy to follow up with class-wide feedback. So this keeps the task interactive, purposeful, and then aligned with the test style speaking, with building those essential groups communication skill. So what I really like about this task is that it encourages structured speaking practice in a fun and interactive way. The role helps keep everyone engaged and accountable. One potential risk could be stronger students dominate the discussion or quieter students holding back. To address that, I'll differentiate by pairing students strategically and provide sentence starter or visual cues for lower level learners. I might also rotate the roles mid-task so everyone practice different skills. Padlet great here too, because it allows quieter students to contribute their ideas in writing, boosting their confidence before speaking. And overall, it's adaptable, collaborative, and nicely aligned to learning outcomes.
Great. Let's quickly tie this task back to what we are meant to be covering. First, this activity really shows the value of group task learning, group-based learning. So it gets students talking, bouncing ideas off each other, and bundling confidence in a natural and supportive way. And also it is clearly targeted at upper intermediate learners getting ready for the speaking task. The structure, the prompts, the roles, they are all designed to match the levels and needs. Plus, there's room to support quieter or lower level students with some simple scaffolds. Overall, it's well planned. There's a clear goal. The task flows logically, and tools like Padlet really help bring it all together. It's interactive, purposeful, and definitely something you could use straight away. So let's reflect and consolidate. Before we close, let's do a quick 3 questions check-in. So can you name one key feature of effective group-based learning?
I would say structured role and clear objectives.
Good. So what's one strategy to ensure equal participation?
To assign specific roles to each group member.
Oh, not bad. So what's a digital tool you would use and why?
I would choose real-time collaboration and visible group input.
Yeah. For example, like the whiteboard we used today was very helpful.
Yes, definitely.
Strong answers. You've shown that you can now link practice to theory.
Oh, good.
So let's revisit the goals of today's session. We have unpacked what the group-based learning really is. We explore tools and practical examples. You apply your learning to a real teaching context. Group-based learning isn't about chaos, it's about collaborating through structure. And as Addercos educators, we're in the perfect space to model this kind of interaction. So, before we finish, can you tell me what's your biggest insight or takeaway from today?
I think my biggest takeaway is just how much structure actually help group work succeed. I used to think giving students freedom made it more natural, but now I see that clear roles and purposeful tasks really make all the difference. It keeps everyone on track, engaged, and actually learning from each other, not just sitting in a group doing their own thing.
That's such a great insight, Alan. And honestly, one I think a lot of us come to with experience. Giving structure doesn't mean we are limiting creativity. It's more like we are setting students up for success. When roles and outcomes are clear, they actually engage more because they know what's expected of them. Really glad that it clicked for you. Thanks for sharing. So in our next session, we'll go further into assessment in group-based learning, conflict management in groups, mapping group work to unit outcomes. Thanks for your active contribution today, and I look forward to building this with you next time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.